Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome to a live Carolina Panthers talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, Carolina Panthers, final game of the season is in the books, and they were able to finish the season with a victory over the New Orleans Saints on the road for their second road victory of the year. Of course, the first one was against the Seahawks. So, final score was 10-7, an extremely sloppy game, but a win that puts their final record at 7-10 and a division record of 4-2. Swept the Saints. First time that they have swept the Saints in 7 years. Dang. But they were able to get it done. But this game, make no mistake about it, this game was extremely sloppy. This game was sloppy on offense, sloppy on defense. Yeah, this game was pretty sloppy all around. And thankfully, Eddie Pinheiro was the savior of the game, making the game-winning field goal. He beat his demons from the Atlanta choke job and was able to hit a game winner today. So cheers to Eddie Pinheiro. We'll also give this team final grades. We're going to grade each of the positions. But yeah, y'all, this game was pretty ugly. And I feel like, really, that final drive was probably the best drive all game. Even the touchdown that we got, Sam Darnold fumbled at the goal line, and thankfully Michael Jordan was able to pounce on it. So, that didn't really look good. But that last drive of the game, I'd say it was the best drive, best offensive drive all game. Incredible play by Terrace Marshall Jr. to help get into position, to help set up for the field goal. But, y'all, this was a sloppy game. A very sloppy game. Not really a game to be proud of. But, a win is a win. Just definitely not a game to be proud of. But Steve Wilks finishes 6-6 as the interim head coach. Tito Z, welcome to the stream. Yo, champ, this game was terrible on both sides. Facts. Sam Darnold finished the game with a 2.8 passer rating. A 2.8 passer rating. The last quarterback to win with at least 15 passes and a passer rating under 3.0 was Rex Grossman in 2006, who had a 1.3 passer rating. Sam Darnold looked bad this game, y'all. He looked bad this game. Offensive line struggled. Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts. He was definitely seeing ghosts this game. Make no mistake about it. I don't know if this was just like, well, we're not going to make the playoffs anyway, so I might as well just do whatever type of game. That's how it looked like Sam Darnold played today. He did not play good today. 5 of 15, 43 yards, 2 interceptions, got sacked twice. And a 2.8 passer rating. Just, oh my goodness. This is what happens when you're a one-dimensional offense. This is what happens. We had 43 total passing yards. Terrace Marshall, leading receiver, 2 catches, 23 yards. DJ Moore, 1 catch, 10 yards. Laviska Shenault, 1 catch, 8 yards. Tommy Tremble, 1 catch, 2 yards. Yeah. And, of course, inconsistent as usual with Ben McAdoo. So I'm not surprised. Tito Z says, DJ Moore only needed 122 yards to have for 1,000 yards receiving and could not get the ball to him. Only 43 total passing yards. It's ridiculous. I'm going crazy like my auntie Sonia. Welcome to the stream. What up? Good to see you. 43 passing yards total, 171 rushing yards. I mean, we did a lot of running. 41 rushing attempts. Chuba Hubbard, 21 carries, 69 yards. Deontay Foreman, 12 carries, 68 yards. Sam Darnold had to run for his life, so a couple of scrambles, 6 carries, 32 yards. 1 carry from Laviska Shenault, 1 yard. 1 carry from Raheem Blackshear, 1 yard. And then, of course, Deontay Foreman got ejected from the game for throwing a punch. Not a great way to finish. Ernest Capu, welcome to the stream. Carolina Panthers offseason better next year. Well, they better get to work. They better get to work. They got a lot to do this offseason. Auntie Sonia says, my Ravens going out. Sad. Oh, you're a Ravens fan? Didn't the Ravens? They didn't make the playoffs? The Ravens are in the playoffs, though. Nah, y'all are still in the playoffs. Y'all made the playoffs. Yeah, 10-6. Y'all in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, just know Lamar. Wait, so Lamar is done? Like, there's no chance that he returns? Oh. Oof. Oh, man. Well, Mr. Anthony Brown's going to be tested. And it looks like the Dolphins are getting ready to perhaps win their game. It's only 5 seconds left. Dolphins are still fighting for a wild card spot. And it looks like they just might end up getting it. Actually, And then Pittsburgh, although Pittsburgh is about to win as well, so he's hurt, but he's actually holding out because they won't pay him. Oh yeah, there's potential that he could be a free agent. Potential that he could be a free agent in the offseason. Well, that's game. Dolphins just won. But yeah, this game was trash today. Andy Dalton, 15 of 25, 171 yards and a touchdown, a 93.9 rating. Only got sacked once. Alvin Kamara, 24 carries, 107 yards. They did pretty good on the rushing game and definitely did a lot better than us on the passing game. Chris Olave, 5 catches, 60 yards and a touchdown. Rashid Shaheed, 3 catches, 34 yards. David Johnson, 2 catches, 28 yards. Jawan Johnson, a catch, 21 yards. Adam Troutman, a catch, 18 yards. So our defense did not do good. And not only that, just the turnovers. Three turnovers. Ugh. J. Cole, welcome to the stream. Would you like the Carolina Panthers to sign Lamar Jackson? Would be nice, but I don't think they could afford him. With the whole cap space issue, with them being over the cap, I doubt they could afford him. Nah. We should definitely not sell the house to get him either. But nah, he would cost way too much. Way too much. Mr. Gemini, welcome to the stream. Well, season's over with a win. 7-10. That's right. 7-10. 4-2 in the NFC South. First time we've swept the Saints in 7 years. And we finished with only 2 road wins this year. Sam with 22 yards, though. SMH. Yeah, the old Sam Darnold returned. The old Sam Darnold returned, seeing ghosts. 5 of 15, 43 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So 43 yards. 43 yards. Yeah, 5 of 15, 43 yards, 2 touchdowns, sacked twice. A 2.8 rating. Something that hasn't been done since Rex Grossman in 06. Whew. That's just crazy. That is so crazy. Deontay Foreman fighting, got ejected. Well, both players got ejected, so, I mean, there is that. But once again, missed the playoffs. So let's see. Since 2018, we've gone 7-9, 7-9, 5-11, 5-11, 5-12, now 7-10. Wow. Auntie Sonia says, do you miss Cam Newton? I do, but at the same time, bringing him back is not going to help anything. You know, he's definitely missed. He's the best quarterback we've had to this day, but bringing him back won't help. Honestly, I think he might be done. Oh, would you look at that? The Falcons beat the Buccaneers. Something we couldn't do last week. The Falcons beat the Buccaneers 30-17. Will you look at that? Thanks a lot, Atlanta. Just ridiculous. Oh, so ridiculous. Without Tom Brady. No, Tom Brady, he played. Tom Brady played 13 of 17, 84 yards and a touchdown. He did play. He didn't play for the whole game, but he did play. We could easily be in the playoffs right now if like 2 plays went our way, but oh well. Oh man. Not only just that, but being that we won this game, all we had to do was win last week and we would have been in. All we had to do last week was win and we would have been in. Can y'all believe that? That's literally all we had to do. Tito Z says, even I thought Norman played a decent game. We brought him in late. And that's the funny thing. Today is the game they start Josh Norman. And then the last game, they barely played him like 4 or 5 snaps. But like I said, that's on coaching. That's on coaching. Speedy recovery for Austin Corbett and Brady Christensen. They went down. They went down. So, but last game of the season, they'll have the off season to heal up and recover. But yeah, offensive line struggled. Even though Sam only got sacked twice, he was chased a lot. And got to give credit to Sam Darnold. He was able to avoid some sacks. So credit to that. And all we have to do is run the ball. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those games, if we would have ran the ball and not given up on it, I think at least a good 2 or 3 of those games would have been wins. So it's just unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate. Amari Barno got the one and only sack. It was good to see Amari Barno play, and he got a sack. Josh Norman was the leading tackler. Go figure. Off topic, but that opening kickoff return for a touchdown by the Bills was historic. Didn't the dude get 2? Didn't he get 2? But yeah, I did hear about that. But I think he got 2 kickoff return touchdowns. Frankie Louvu is the truth. Facts. Oh, speaking of that, defense, y'all need to run the tip drill. Y'all need to seriously run the tip drill over and over and over and over. I tell you, man, y'all, there have been too many games this season where y'all have tipped up balls to get picked off and y'all cannot make the plays. Y'all need to work on the tip drill a whole lot. Because y'all cannot close on the ball after it's been tipped. Y'all need to work on your tip drills. Y'all need to work on your tip drills because that's ridiculous. I think throughout the season, I've seen so many tipped balls and can't get the interception. DJ didn't have any catches. He had one. He had one for 10 yards. Just one. Just one. Now, how many times was he targeted? He was targeted 3 times, but only had one catch. Only had one catch. Josh Norman almost pulled in an interception. See, Xavier Woods has no hands. Oh, my goodness. Xavier Woods. Oh. So many missed opportunities there. So many missed opportunities from him, Josh Norman. J. Cole says, we missed Dante Jackson and J.C. Horn tremendously. Although C.J. Henderson did all right today. He did all right today. But it's like I said before, we should have brought somebody in. Even if it was Josh Norman, we should have brought him in after Dante Jackson went down. Because going into that Tampa Bay game with both or your top cornerbacks out was just ridiculous. Was just ridiculous. So, but I blame that on the organization and on the coaching. That's why I say Steve Wilks, I'm okay with him being a candidate, but he shouldn't be guaranteed the position. Even if he did finish 6-6, I'm sorry. There are a handful of those games that were just bad coaching. Joe Valesco, welcome to the stream. Should the Panthers trade up in the NFL draft? I'm not necessarily sure about trading up in the first round. Perhaps in the later rounds, but I'm not so sure about the first round. But then again, I have to look to see where our final position is. Gemini says, what do you think the pass rush looked like without Burns in there? Bad. Bad. I mean, Andy Dalton really wasn't pressured too much, and we only got 1 sack, which was from the rookie, Amari Barno. So, honestly, pass rush was bad. It was really bad. Shoot, we had a chance to stop him on 4th and inches, and Derek Brown jumped. Freaking Derek Brown jumped. And the sad thing is, the touchdown that we got was because our offensive lineman, Michael Jordan, was able to jump on the football in the end zone in time. So it was an offensive touchdown without it being an offensive touchdown. And, so we had 2 turnovers instead of 3. I thought we had 3, but no, only 2 turnovers. But you know what's funny? So check this out. So we had 14 total first downs, 4 passing, 10 rushing. And we actually were 8 of 14 on third downs. We were actually 8 of 14 on third downs. Not bad. Not bad. The Saints had 16 first downs, 7 on the run, 7 on the pass, and 2 from penalties. And they were 4 of 13 on third down and 0-1 on fourth down. So you know what? We actually did pretty well stopping them on third down and getting them off the field. So at least that was nice. And both teams had 58 total plays. We just had 1 extra drive, 11 drives to 10 drives. What was Sam thinking today, though? I have no idea. I was maybe, we're not making the playoffs, so I'm going to just, whatever. But Sam was seeing ghosts. So, I mean, yeah, he definitely struggled. I feel like they should have put PJ in. So PJ can't go. He's still out. He's still out with the ankle injury. So yeah, he wouldn't have been able to play. So Sam, it was no choice but to have Sam, unfortunately. But yeah, he's still nursing that injury. Let's see. And the sad thing is, we had a slightly higher time of possession, 30 minutes, 55 seconds, to the Saints, 29 minutes, 5 seconds. So we actually won the time of possession battle. But yeah, the two interceptions. Whew. Like I said, this is one of few games where we actually lost the turnover battle and yet still won the game. It's crazy. Mr. Gemini says, so officially now we technically only have one quarterback on the roster, and that's Matt Corral. Yeah. Because, this is it for Sam Darnold, because this was the fifth-year option year. And PJ, we only resigned last year to 1 year. So, yeah, that's right, Mr. Gemini. Matt Corral. So, like I said, this is going to be a very interesting offseason. Very interesting offseason. But everybody that's in the chat. So Steve Wilks finished 6-6 since taking over. We just struggle so badly in the red zone. Thankfully, we were 1 of 1 in the red zone today, but like I said, that was due to Michael Jordan pouncing on the fumble. I'm in report. Welcome to the stream. Percentage chance Panthers hire Jim Harbaugh. 10%. I honestly, I think he's going to stay with Michigan. I know he's had some interest, but I just think it's a difficult move to pull off. So I'm going to say 10%. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it happening. And I thought last year was interesting. Yeah, didn't we all? But let me ask y'all this. Steve Wilks came in the Rams game, took over as interim head coach, ended up finishing 6-6. Do y'all feel that he deserves to be front runner for full-time head coach next season? What do y'all think? Yay? Nay? Honestly, what do y'all think? Personally, I think we should explore options. Should Steve Wilks be a candidate? Yes, but I think we should explore options. Okay, Joe Valesco says no. Iman report is half and half. He's 50-50 on it. Okay. Who else? Let me hear some more, y'all. Tito Z says, I like Wilks. The guys came out for him, but he's not the guy. Okay, so that's a no from Tito Z. Mr. Gemini says, explore options. I agree. Okay. Iman report says, I would look at offensive minds. Okay. So it sounds like mainly no's, but at least explore options. Now, I'm thinking that, I'm sure he's going to get interviewed. I know David Tepper, Jim Harbaugh. I know he had mentioned, I think the word was mentioned, D'Amico Ryans as well. Maybe they may interview Ben Johnson as well. Maybe they'll interview Ken Dorsey after the Buffalo season's over. So there's some names. Iman report says bring Darnold back as a bridge, which is a possibility as well. J. Cole says I like him back as cornerbacks coach or defensive coordinator. I would totally be fine with Wilks being back on defensive coordinator. Absolutely. Mr. Gemini said, I heard McVay too. Oh, yeah. Sean McVay says his future is still uncertain with the Rams. Rams fell apart this year after winning the Super Bowl last year. But you know what? I mean, Sean McVay has appeared in the Super Bowl twice. So, I mean, I don't know. Would the Rams give up on him that quick? I mean, he's 1-1 in the Super Bowl. So I would be surprised if they got rid of him, personally. I would be very shocked. Cruza, welcome to the stream. If Wilks is hired, I think he needs to give detailed plans to the Panthers front office on who's going to be the next offensive coordinator under his helm. Yeah, I would agree, mainly because I don't think Ben McAdoo is the guy. I don't think he's the guy because I feel like he's way too inconsistent. So I think they should definitely move on from Ben McAdoo. Iman Report says Texans may be both Adam Peters and D'Amico Ryans together. Ooh, yeah. Texans are going to want to do some rebuilding as well. So that's a good point, Iman Report. Cruza says offensive passing system needs to be overhauled ASAP. Facts, 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 facts. Dude, this year we were such a one-dimensional team. It's not even funny. We were such a one-dimensional team, especially on offense. And just, yeah, we definitely need work on offense. The run game is pretty solid. But we definitely need some work on offense. But you know something? I have to say, penalty-wise, this was a fairly clean game. You know, there was only 3 penalties total today. I mean, we had the ejection and then the encroachment penalty, and that was it. We didn't have a single false start, so that was nice. You know, we actually looked pretty clean on penalties today. Not a single false start. I was shocked. Mr. Gemini says Foreman was mad. Yeah, which, I mean, Foreman retaliated. That's pretty much why he got ejected. He retaliated. I know how easy it is to do that, but Davenport threw the punch first, and you know he retaliated, so therefore they both got ejected. Mr. Gemini says he wanted his 1,000-yard game. Yeah, he came close. J. Cole says, do you know any coaching candidates? Well, other than the names that I had mentioned about, David Tepper speaking with Jim Harbaugh, the desire to interview D'Amico Ryans. I think Ben Johnson should be a candidate. I think Ken Dorsey should be a candidate. Iman Report says Frank Reich would be a guy I'd consider. I don't know about for head coach, though. Well, I mean, 41 and 35 and 1. Well, he does have a decent head coaching record. And he has been to the postseason. I mean, maybe Frank Reich. I mean, he doesn't have a craptacular coaching record. So, I mean, Frank Reich might not be too bad of an idea. Yeah, that might not be too bad of an idea. How about Bill O'Brien for offensive coordinator? For offensive coordinator, has he been a pretty good offensive coordinator? Because anybody know his record as offensive coordinator? Bill O'Brien. Irsay is a bad owner. Oh yeah, Jim Irsay. Yeah, so I've been told. That's what I've been told. What about Greg Roman? I'd be down for Greg Roman. Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? But I'd be down for Greg Roman. I don't see why not. I mean, dude was a assistant coach of the year in 2019. So hey, why not? And don't forget, he was there with the start of the Carolina Panthers because remember he was an offensive line assistant. So I mean, hey, why not? Why not bring him back? Bring him back as head coach or offensive coordinator? Shoot, why not? Why not? But yeah, we definitely got to explore options for sure. Definitely explore options. So when you think about it, we got Steve Wilks. We know we got potentially D'Amico Ryans. We'd have to go for another minority coach, of course, because of the Rooney Rule. I don't know if Eric Bieniemy would still be up for it, but there's him. What does the NFL draft order look like right now? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. So with us being 7-10, first round, number 9. So we get the number 9 pick. So we'll finish with the top 10 pick. So number 9. I mean, we could do something with that. We could probably do something with that. I don't know. Maybe perhaps trade up. Might be able to trade up a little bit, but we'll see. Could possibly trade up a little bit. But yeah, number 9 in the first round. And according to Tankathon, they still have us going Quentin Johnston, wide receiver out of TCU, with that number 9 pick. And let's see. Oh, so the Bears now have the number 1 pick, y'all. The Bears have the number 1 pick now. So just a FYI. Yeah. Yep. The Chicago Bears have secured the number 1 pick. They finished 3-14. Christopher Kelton, welcome to the stream. I'm starting to warm up to Anthony Richardson. That's looking like I know it was something I believe the organization is going to keep their eyes on is Anthony Richardson. So yeah, I've heard. J. Cole says no. Why? Oh, about wide receiver? Yeah, I don't know either. Mr. Gemini said, I really thought we were going to get the number one pick at least in the top three a month ago. Iman Report says Bears should trade down. So Will Anderson is possibly going number one. As a matter of fact, in the Tankathon mock draft, they have the Bears going Will Anderson number one because they don't need a quarterback. They got Justin Fields, so that would mean. So here's what the mock draft looks like right now on Tankathon as of now. Bears number one, they would get Will Anderson, edge rusher out of Alabama. The Texans are number two, which they would be going for Bryce Young, quarterback out of Alabama. Number three would be the Seattle Seahawks, and they have them going C.J. Stroud, quarterback out of Ohio State. Number four going to the Cardinals, which they got them going Jalen Carter, defensive lineman out of Georgia. Number five, they got the Colts going Will Levis, quarterback out of Kentucky. Number six, they got Miles Murphy, edge rusher out of Clemson, going to the Lions. Number seven, they got Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle out of Northwestern, going to the Raiders. Number eight, they got Tyree Wilson, edge rusher out of Texas Tech, going to the Falcons. And then at number nine, Carolina Panthers, they have us going Quentin Johnston, wide receiver out of TCU. So that's what they have so far. But yeah, Chicago Bears will get the first pick of the first round. Oh, man. That's crazy. Because the Bears finished 3-14. And right now, Mr. Gemini says, I don't like us picking a wide receiver with our first pick. I highly, highly, highly doubt we pick a wide receiver with our first round pick. I highly doubt that. Iman Report says Matt Eberfius is on the hot seat in 2023. Where does he coach? Chicago Bears. Gotcha. Thank you. Cruiser says only an offering of a king's ransom from the Bears for the Bears number one pick will stop them from getting Will Anderson. Yeah, I don't know if they would be willing to trade down. As a matter of fact, do they have any more picks that round? No, just the first round pick. J. Cole says one of the mocks has Carolina Panthers getting Anthony Richardson in the first round. Interesting. Yeah, Joe Valesco. Like J. Cole said, they have the Cardinals going Jalen Carter with that number 4 pick in the first round. So yeah, the Arizona Cardinals. According to this Tankathon mock draft, they actually have the Jets with the number 13 pick going Anthony Richardson. Wow. So they're already giving up on Zach Wilson? Really? Wow. I didn't think that would be a possibility. I mean, I don't know why they would give up on Zach Wilson, but Cruiser says, yeah, Zach Wilson is done. Dang, he was that bad? Really? He was that bad? Wow. Well, that's a bummer. Wow. That's a bummer. Oh, well. I'm in report says Jets quarterbacks are cursed. Must be. Must be. J. Cole says, yes, sir. Have first round for Anthony Richardson to the Carolina Panthers. Wow. Wow. Well, I don't know. A lot of people are thinking that he could possibly fall to the second round, but we will see. We shall see. But yeah, that's surprising. It's like, what in the world? Cruiser says he lost the Jets locker room, and it looks like he was regressing as he was playing. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, well, that'll do it. That'll definitely do it. Dang, that sucks. Christopher Kelton says, position of need. Number 1, quarterback. Number 2, defensive back. 3, nose tackle. 4, safety. 5, wide receiver. 7, defensive tackle. What about linebacker, though? We still need a middle linebacker badly. How do you feel about linebacker? Cruiser says, kept repeating mistakes instead of learning from them. Oh, for real? Jeez. Dang, that sucks. But quarterback, I agree. Defensive back, I agree. We definitely could use some help on the line. Safety, yeah. But I really think we got to throw linebacker in there. We really need a middle linebacker. We really need a middle linebacker. So we need a defensive, edge, most definitely. And don't forget, we still got Brian Burns contract up, so we got to figure out what we're going to do with Brian Burns. So we still got to figure that out. J. Cole says, who's in front of us that needs a quarterback? Let's check. So Bears got the number 1 pick. I don't see them going quarterback. The Texans, number 2, they're most likely going to go quarterback. The Seahawks are number 3. I mean, while the Seahawks still have a chance to make the playoffs if they can win, I don't know if Geno Smith is a long-term answer, so they may go quarterback. Cardinals at number 4, Jalen Carter. Doubt they go quarterback. They got Kyler Murray. Number 5 is the Colts, which Matt Ryan is probably done. So they could potentially get Will Levis. Detroit, I think Detroit has a home for has the home for Jared Goff. So I don't think they'll draft a quarterback. The Raiders, I mean, word is they're looking to possibly trade Derek Carr. So, and then number 8 is the Falcons, which they're not going for a quarterback. They got Desmond Ridder. So, honestly, I got a feeling at least 2 quarterbacks will get taken by the time it gets to the number 9 pick, to be honest with you. We definitely need middle linebacker, maybe the 4th round. I don't know, Christopher Kelton. I think we might want to go linebacker a little earlier than the 4th round. We have not had a strong middle linebacker presence since Luke Kuechly retired. So I think we should fix that. That might be a little higher on the priority list. I was thinking that as priority, probably right behind quarterback or defensive back. Iman Report says Seattle likely drafting defense. And Cruza says the Seahawks almost never pick a quarterback in the 1st round. They had an open opportunity to in the past draft, and they didn't. So I thought that was pretty shocking. Cruza says Goff is Lions quarterback for another two or so more years. Yes. Okay. Right on. Mr. Gemini says Panthers always had good linebackers, so yeah, we need another one to help out Luvu. Yeah, agreed. I think if we have a Luvu, Shaq Thompson, and then we need somebody in the middle that's solid. Joe Valesco says 2nd round middle linebacker or free agency. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how money looks, because remember, we're going into the offseason over the cap. So keep that in mind. Iman Report says, I'm projecting a Carr for Winston plus picks trade between the Saints and the Raiders. Ooh. Derek Carr going to the Saints. Honestly, that would be a little scary. You got to remember, Derek Carr may have struggled, but the dude has playoff experience, and he's a 2-time Pro Bowler. Mr. Gemini says, I think Shaq's going to be gone. Now, that's a possibility as well. That's definitely a possibility as well. For sure. Let's go ahead and start running down the overall grades for each of the positions of the Carolina Panthers. So, J. Cole says, do you see Noah Sewell making it to the 2nd round? Noah Sewell. That is, well, funny thing is, they actually have him going to the Raiders, number 39, 2nd round linebacker out of Oregon. And actually, the Raiders would pick, and then Carolina, which Carolina, they in the 2nd round, they have their, according to this mock draft, Drew Sanders, linebacker out of Arkansas. Panay's younger brother. Oh, nice. Oh, so younger brother on defense, Panay Sewell on offense. Ooh. That ought to be interesting if they ever face each other in the NFL. That would be interesting. But yeah, that would be really interesting. Okay, y'all. Quarterback. What's your overall grade for Carolina Panthers at the quarterback position? Be honest. I gotta hear what y'all gotta say about this. overall quarterback grade. Mr. Gemini says C minus. Okay. Joe Valesco says D minus. Can week 18 quarterback grade be dropped? Yes. Personally, I'm kind of at a crossroad. Actually, nah. You know what? I'm at a crossroad between a C minus and a D plus. Only because we got a couple of victories behind Sam Darnold. We got a victory or two behind PJ Walker and one victory behind Baker Mayfield. Because for the remaining games this season that Sam Darnold has played compared to last year, I'm going to be generous. I'm going to be generous and say C minus. Borderline. I'm going to say C minus. Cruza says C minus. Mr. Gemini says D plus under Matt Rule. But how about overall? Overall. J. Cole says D minus. Ooh. It's going in hard. But it looks like mainly between that C minus, D plus, D minus range. So low C, high D type of range. Now, that's understandable. That's definitely understandable. All right. Running back. And that includes the fullback. So, running back. Personally, for running back, I'm going to have to say a B plus. Okay, we got a B from Cruza. We got an A minus from Mr. Gemini. We got a B plus from Joe Valesco. B plus from J. Cole. Okay, so a couple of Bs. An A minus. Okay. Cruza says a stronger pass game to complement would elevate this to an A. Yeah, for sure. And of course, we had the first part of the season with Christian McCaffrey, and then the rest of the season with the combination of Blackshear, Foreman, and Chuba Hubbard, who can get it done on the ground. So, but yeah, I'd have to say B plus myself. All right, wide receivers. Mr. Gemini says B plus because inconsistent. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, wide receivers. Joe Valesco, you give the wide receivers an A? What? Really? Interesting. J. Cole says a C plus. Okay. Cruza says, I hate to be a coward, but inconsistent for wide receivers. Yeah. Need much more consistent quarterback to rate this. No, that's fair, Cruza. That's fair. Christopher Kelton says, I think we can get a decent middle linebacker around third or fourth round. I'm looking at Jack Campbell from Iowa or Tommy Etchenberg from Ohio. I know Noah Sewell want to make it to the first round. It'll be interesting to see where his placement is. They have him in the second round on the Tankathon, but he might get bumped up. But Jack Campbell, Tommy Etchenberg, okay. Here's hoping. I just really think for the middle, I think we really need a dog. But don't forget, we do have Brandon Smith. And if Brandon Smith can stay healthy, I think Brandon Smith can do some damage. So let's not forget about Brandon Smith. Joe Valesco says DJ Moore carried the wide receiver group. Yeah, but I mean, him alone makes it an A. I have to disagree with that one, Joe Valesco. Need much more consistent quarterback play to rate this group. The B+ was for the running backs. I'll give a C+ for the wide receiver. Gotcha, Mr. Gemini. Yeah, I'm going to have to say, I mean, DJ Moore, still our top guy. Terrace Marshall Jr. is on the up and coming. And Shi Smith showed flashes, but then kind of went, eh. Joe Valesco says B+. Okay, that's a little more reasonable. That's a little more reasonable. Because if we had an A, then our passing game would look so much better. And it would be worthy of an A. But yeah, I will have to say C+ personally. C+ personally. Because just our passing game was weak. But we have the talent at receiver. Christopher says we need a fast receiver that can get separation, a 4.2 guy. I thought Shi Smith was going to be that guy. And I mean, I don't know if we bring back Laviska Shenault. Probably not. And also, we never saw Rashard Higgins. We never saw him. So that was a big old bust. So, yeah. I really was hoping we would see him, but that did not happen. Tight ends. Try to think about the tight end position. Mr. Gemini says D. Joe Valesco says C+. Ooh, Jay Cole says an F-. Ouch. Yes, indeed, Cruiser. I mean, to be honest, we haven't really seen a lot of production out of the tight end core, to be honest, y'all. So, I mean, yeah. We haven't really seen a lot of production out of the tight ends, especially not in the passing game. And the running game, maybe a little bit, but I'm going to say D. I'm going to say D for tight end. Yeah. I think production in the run game was there, but passing game just non-existent. Kevin McFarland, welcome to the stream. Hello, I can't believe Deontay Foreman got ejected. He is the last person to get ejected. It's like Luke Kuechly being out, but great win. Well, he got ejected because he retaliated. I mean, he got hit first, but he retaliated. So even with retaliation, you get ejected, unfortunately. Even with defending yourself, you still get ejected. So that's really what it came down to. But yeah, that's the only reason. Christopher Kelton says, we have 2 good tight ends. There are no plays for them. We mostly use them for blocking and anemic play calling. He's right. He's right. I mean, that's where they've been very successful at. And the thing is, I like Tommy Tremble. You know, Ian Thomas, I mean, he's been doing his thing as well, but I really like Tommy Tremble. So hopefully, you know, but then again, that's thanks to Ben McAdoodoo. Deontay Foreman is a nice guy. I think Luke did get ejected once for accidentally hitting an official and thinking a person put his hands on him. I don't remember. You might be right, but I don't remember it actually. You know, yeah, I actually don't remember. But I'll take your word for it. Okay. Green Bay game 2014. Oh, okay. Huh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Well, hey, somebody remembered it. Offensive line. What's your overall grade for the offensive line? I'm very intrigued to hear what y'all grade the offensive line. Bring it on. Okay, J. Cole, A-. Joe Valesco, B+. Kevin McFarland says, best ever. Give me a grade. Mr. Gemini says A-. Patriots 07 line. I'll take your word for it. I don't know that line. A-. Okay, we got 3 A-. Okay. 3 A-, a B+. Okay. I have to say I agree. A-. And you know what? Props to Ikem Ekwonu on his rookie season. Finished the season playing every game. Ekwonu, you know what? Not bad for his rookie season, y'all. Not bad at all. Not bad. I think he'll get better. What do y'all think? I think he'll get better. I think he'll definitely get better. Austin Corbett played every game of the season up to now, but he did get hurt. Hopefully, speedy recovery for him. But you know, he'll be back next year because we signed him to a multi-year. I think it was 2 or 3 years, but Austin Corbett will be back. Brady Christensen, you know, did very well at left guard, and he'll be back. He's still on the rookie contract, so he'll be back. We should definitely re-sign Bradley Bozeman. We should definitely re-sign him. That's a must. And yeah, Taylor Moton's still doing his thing. Struggled a little bit, but Taylor Moton still can give us the needed production. Hope our guards can get healed. I believe they will. Believe they will. Kevin McFarland says, I like him, but I think Evan Neal could have been the better pick, but a good rookie season. Yeah, facts. Christopher Kelton says, shout out to Cade Mays. He should be playing more. Cade Mays, yeah, he got some good playing time today, and definitely, you know, somebody that we should keep an eye on as well. You know, he'll be back as well. Rookie contract. So Cade Mays, definitely somebody to look out for. And I think he'll definitely get some more playing time. And who knows? He might be competing for a spot in the starting lineup. I think he should compete. Why not? You know? Why not? I mean, he had a great preseason. So I definitely think Cade Mays can definitely contribute. Michael Jordan, LOL. He did score our touchdown. But yeah, I definitely I have to agree. A- on the offensive line for sure. Kevin says, I think Preston Williams could be a starting receiver next year. He is 6'5" and 225. What happened to Deontay Brown? Ooh, if I remember correctly, I believe he is still on the team, but I think via the practice squad. Actually, you know what? I don't know. Let me take a look. Let me actually take a look. He might be on the practice squad. Or not. Yeah, he's on the practice squad. He's on the practice squad. Christopher. Yeah, he's on the practice squad. But I think the big thing with him is the weight issue. They said he was not in shape to play. Yeah, what Kevin said. He did not pass the parameters for the physical measurements. Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only thing. He's just got to get his weight situation together, and then he'll be good. I think he has potential, but he's got to get his physical under control. Okay. So that was offense. Defense. Defensive line. What's your grade for defensive line? Defensive line. We finished the year with 34 total sacks this season. 34 total sacks. And of course, Brian Burns finishes with the most at 12 and a half sacks. Okay. J. Cole says B minus. Mr. Gemini says C minus. Kevin says Frankie Louvu might have had the best linebacker season for a rookie ever. Wait, for a rookie? Frankie. Wait, what? I'm confused. On our team, well, considering he kind of moved from the special teams role to the main defense role, I can see what you mean. Joe Valesco says a B, C minus from Kevin, B minus from Mr. Gemini. Personally, I'm going to have to go with a C. I'm going to have to go with a C. I know Brian Burns did his thing and he's going to the Pro Bowl and all that, but I really think the pressure on D definitely wasn't consistent this season. I don't think the D-line pressure was consistent this season. You know, we saw some good things from Derek Brown, but I think there needs to be better production on the D-line as a whole. Christopher says, we definitely need more beef on the line. It's showing in the second half of games. Look at the front four of Philadelphia or New Orleans. Facts. And Hassan Reddick, lack of him, and he's balling right now in Philly. He's balling right now for Philly. We're going to get Fletcher Cox Shoot, I wish. That would be nice. Christopher says, we've been missing a guy like Star Latulilae. Oh, man. Star Latulilae was a great presence, especially stopping the run, clogging up that middle. Yeah, Star Latulilae was a great presence. Definitely missed. Definitely missed. UK living. Well, welcome to the stream. I don't know how I ended up on this part of the internet, but I hope the Beavers beat the Mongooses. Let's go, News. I don't know how either, but welcome. Oh man, that's quite an intro. Super Trebo says, "Sup, Jason? Wonder what's going to happen after today's game with coach status. We go to get a quarterback future no matter what. I think definitely quarterback is something we got to look at. Something we definitely got to look at. We should have re-signed Reddit. Facts. We need a good interior pass rusher and run stopper. Facts. So, yeah, definitely. And, we did have some good games this year where we did stop the run. We did. But just like I said, the D-line, inconsistent. Really inconsistent. All right, folks. Linebackers. What grade do you give the linebacker core this season? Let me hear your deets for the linebackers, for the LBs. What y'all got for the LBs? Joe Valesco says C-. Okay. Kevin McFarland says D- except for Frankie Louvu. He gets an A+. That's fair. Super Trebo says, so did the Falcons finally beat Tom Brady, or did Brady even start for the Bucs? He played. Brady played. He played. But the Falcons did win 30-17. J. Cole says D-. Okay. Mr. Gemini says a C, but Louvu gets a B+. Understandable. Oh, Mike Evans didn't play? Ah. Oh, and the Commanders just threw a pick in the end zone. Dang. Oh, that's right. Mr. Sam Howell is starting today. I forgot. Quarterback out of UNC Chapel Hill. For the linebackers, I'm going to have to say C. I'm going to have to say a C for linebackers. Yeah, I have to say a C. Think about how many tackles Louvu has got. We're the worst team when it comes to tackling. So for tackles, the leading tackler of the season was actually Shaq Thompson, 128 total tackles. Frankie Louvu finished with 105 total tackles. So Shaq did get the most total tackles, the most solo tackles. Oh, actually, Shaq as well. Frankie Louvu had 73 solo tackles. Shaq had 75. So that's hard to believe, but great. I mean, Shaq has been known for closing in pretty well. I will give that to Shaq. He has his moments where he can close in on the tackle. So it's not too surprising. But definitely Frankie Louvu was a big key. Definitely a big key. Let's see. All right, y'all. Cornerback. I'm a split cornerback and safety, but cornerback. Specifically cornerback. Joe Valesco says B+. Okay. Okay. Who else? Which y'all got for cornerbacks? A C for Mr. Gemini. J. Cole says a C. Okay. I'm about to be harsh. I'm about to be harsh. For the most part, I would say a C throughout the season. But near the end of the season, it went from a C to an F. I just got to keep it real. Went from a C to an F. Because after J.C. Horn and Dante Jackson went down, they just imploded. Secondary got exposed. Definitely got exposed. So I have to say, I'll go with a C, but it imploded into an F in these last few games. Christopher Kelton says, bro, if it is possible, we need to draft Cam Smith from South Carolina. I wonder where they have him on the they have him going to the Lions at number 14 in the first round. Oh, the Lions have 2 first-round picks. Oh, I forgot about that, y'all. The Lions actually have 2 first-round picks. They have pick number 6 and pick number 17. So the Lions have 2 first-round picks. Interesting. So the Lions got a chance to eat good, or they may even trade back one of those picks. But as of now, they got the Tankathon, they got Cam Smith going to the Lions with that number 17 pick. But yeah, I'd be down. I'd totally be down. And that's what, others were considering, if we decide to part ways from Dante Jackson, get another stud cornerback. Or maybe have a trio. All right. Safety position. What's your grade for the safety position? And speaking of, when it comes to interceptions, J.C. Horn finishes the leader with 3 interceptions. Dante Jackson had 2. C.J. Henderson had 2. Derek Brown had 1. Frankie Louvu had 1. And Bravion Roy had 1. So, not a lot of interceptions this year. But at least 2 of them were pick sixes. One from Dante Jackson and one from Frankie Louvu. Okay, safety. Joe Valesco says a C. Ooh, J. Cole says F-. Ouch. Mr. Gemini says C-. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I might strongly consider the idea of maybe moving Jeremy Chin back to linebacker. I mean, his rookie year, he was a stud at that linebacker, that nickel position. They might want to consider that. They actually might want to consider that. Christopher says what the Lions need to do is give us that pick. Would be nice. Would be nice. Maybe trade up, get their sixth pick. I mean, that now, honestly, if we could trade up and get their six and they would get our ninth, that could work, actually. That could work. That could possibly work. But we'll see. We'll see. But Ernest Capu says Carolina Panthers free agency 2023. Well, got to take care of the cap space issue though. Gotta get that fixed up first. J. Cole says yes. Chin to linebacker is awesome. He just has to beef up some. Yeah. I still felt like he got snubbed out of the defensive rookie of the year. All because Chase Young is a bigger name. Nah, let's keep it real. He got snubbed. I'm sorry, but I don't know any other time I've ever seen a player get 2 back-to-back fumble recoveries for touchdowns. That's a rare sight. We've been missing Overton coverage. I'm giving a strong D grade. Oh, for the safeties? Yeah. Oh, over the top coverage. Gotcha. Yeah, which I felt like we should have done in the Bucs game. Because that way, Mike Evans wouldn't have had no freaking 200 yards receiving. Let's see. Oh, well, I guess we might as well go into special teams. Kicker. I mean, it's a simple one, but kicker. Joe Valesco says B+. Jeff R., welcome to the stream. What's up? J. Cole says a B as well. Did this win hurt us? Nah, because I don't think it would have changed our position. I don't think it would have changed our position much. I don't think it would have changed our position. Still in the top 10. So, yeah, I'm going to say nah. I don't think it hurt us. It was a sloppy win. It was a very sloppy win. But, nah, I wouldn't say that it hurt us. But, hey, it's the first time we've swept the Saints in 7 years. B for kicker. I'll say this. Normally, if it wasn't for that Falcons choke job, I would give him an A plus. I would give him an A plus. But I'm gonna go B plus. I'm gonna go B plus. I'm gonna go B plus because Panero, he redeemed himself in this game. Had the game-winning kick, and he made up for it. He was at least able to escape the season with a game winner. So, got to give him credit on that. But punter, B for special teams as a whole. Yeah. I would say A for punter and B overall for special teams. Oh, we got some A's. Nice. A and A. How would you feel about moving Keith Taylor to safety? Do you know if he's ever played safety before? Just curious. Because I don't think he did bad in his rookie year. It's just certain matchups. Certain matchups I feel like just got the best of him. But I don't think Keith Taylor is terrible. Just matchups and just lack of adjusting, I feel like just did really affected his stock. But no, I wouldn't say Keith Taylor's trash. Grade for Steve Wilks. C. A C. Since Mr. Gemini mentioned it, what would y'all give the grade for Steve Wilks? Joe Valesco says, who are we going to keep at kicker? Honestly, I would be okay with keeping Zane. We still have Zane for another year, but I also would not be opposed to keeping Panero. I wouldn't be opposed to keeping Panero. J. Cole says, I like Dante Jackson at free safety, which I have heard that he has some free safety experience. So, but yeah, Steve Wilks finished as 6-6. I give him a C. Mr. Gemini a C plus. J. Cole a C. Jeff R gives him an A. Okay, we got one A. Anybody else want to chime in? Steve Wilks. Overall grade for Steve Wilks. We know he didn't coach a full season, so, something to keep in mind. But, it is what it is. Joe Valesco, a B. Okay, so we got some variety. But as I said before, should he be a candidate? Yes. Did he win the job by default? In my opinion, no. But should he be a candidate? Yes. I think they do need to explore their options. Now, Steve Wilks will probably most likely get first interview for sure. For sure, I can see him getting first interview. For sure. But, 2 wins better than the last 3 seasons. Not sure if he did at Washington State. I don't. Hold on. Well, now his college head coaching career, he's 5-6. Head coaching career in college, 5-6. Jeff R says, you guys have to realize that he picked up a team that we already checked out. He created a foundation and an identity, and he did it with a coaching staff that wasn't entirely his. That's impressive. Did he do some great things? Absolutely. But here's the thing. When it comes down to it, there were some questionable decisions, and it ended up affecting the record. Not to mention, as I said before, how much longer are we going to settle with mediocrity when we had a chance to win the division? We won today. All we had to do was win last week, and we would have made the playoffs. Like, you got to be able to perform in situations like that. And we didn't even make any adjustments. We let Mike Evans eat. Yes, a good bit of that is on the talent, but a good bit of that is also on the coaching. You got to be able to make adjustments. And that wasn't the case. Like, I'm tired of settling with mediocrity when we have opportunities to make the big play, to capitalize, and we didn't get it done. And that should be at least viewed. That should be viewed. That's why I can't put him at the front runner. I can't. You got to be able to capitalize, because all the building foundation, that's great. He's done that. That's great. That's awesome. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, the record is what gets us in position to play for a championship. And unfortunately, as great of a defensive mind that Steve Wilks has, pure, great defensive mind, head coaching wise, it's not there. It's not there yet. 100%? No. I would say maybe 60 to 70%. Mr. Gemini says, I'll give McAdoo a C-. I can't even give him that. I'd have to give him a D. Steve Wilks gets a C grade, can be too conservative. Yeah, and that's that right there. That right there. Every coach makes questionable decisions. Wilks can't play the game. He can only coach. We stuck with the game plan. I see nothing he did wrong. So you saw nothing done wrong in that Bucs game. I think Big Cat, as a matter of fact, Big Cat said it best. So as far as certain play calls and whatnot that maybe Ben McAdoo or Al Holcomb may have done, Steve Wilks can't override. He can't override any of that. I mean, he was the head coach. He's the head coach. Interim, yes, but he took over. I mean, you got to be able to make adjustments, and there were many games where adjustments weren't made. I mean, and that game, I would have to say that Bucs game is the worst example. I put that over the Steelers game. I put that over the Steelers game. But that Bucs game, like, how do you let one player get over 200 yards on 3 deep balls on the same side of the field? On the same side of the field. And no adjustments? No over-the-top safety help? No package adjustments? Nah, that's on coaching. That's on coaching. Steve Wilks looks like Denzel Washington when he was young. Interesting. Interesting. Which particular game, Jeff R? Because if you're talking about the Bucks game, one of those we could have gone for. The other one could have gone either way, but one of those fourth downs we should have gone for. But probably not the one that was on our side of the field. But at the same time, we weren't even running the ball when we were up 14-0, getting ready to go into halftime. We weren't running the ball, and we were up 14-0. We have a habit of giving up. And not only that, we've been a one-dimensional team on offense. I mean, that's why the run game has been great. Pass game, But yeah, I agree. And that's another thing. And Mr. Gemini makes a great point. You don't get into a shootout, an offensive passing shootout with Tom Brady. That's a no-no. Not with a 7-time champion who's known for passing the ball. Not to mention, they were ranked number 1 in sacks allowed due to protecting Tom Brady and him being able to get the ball out. You know? But, like, you don't let one player get 200. That's Bené Ben-Wickery, Julio Jones all over again. But yeah, one player, 200 yards on 63, 57, 30-yard bombs, all on the same side of the field. That's not a good look. That is not a good look. That's on coaching. Not to mention all that talk about Josh Norman, and they barely play him 5 snaps. But yet today they start him. That's questionable. That's very questionable. That's McAdoo. Everybody knows Wilks likes to run. He's not the offensive coordinator. But once again, as I was saying earlier, so Steve Wilks can't overwrite any decision as head coach? Like, is that not possible? The head coach can't overwrite any decision? I would think they should be able to overwrite any decision as the head coach. Super Trebo says, do you think the Panthers will try to trade up and get Bryce Young or Stroud in the draft? That's going to be hard. That's going to be really hard with the Texans and Seahawks and Colts. Like, I mean, we might be able to move up with the Lions, but I just have a feeling those quarterbacks, a good chunk of those quarterbacks are going to be gone like that. So it might be tough. It might be tough. Would you say it's McAdoo if we still had Rule? Yeah. Yeah. Ben McAdoo is inconsistent. The fact that we had a game where we only had 9 total rushing attempts in the first half, that's bad. That's really bad. What about Jim Caldwell for offensive coordinator? Personally, I think I'd rather have him as I would rather utilize him as head coach than offensive coordinator. But I mean, that could probably settle. Could probably settle for that. Could probably settle for that. Jeff R says blitz. That's why you have to let him bring in his own offensive coordinator. It's not that easy to change the offensive coordinator's game time play call. Well, here's the thing, though. I'm not saying that the plan has to necessarily change, but it's just like with audibles. And it makes me think about the Seahawks Patriots game. Like, and like I said, I'm only saying this just as me, but that Seahawks Patriots game, I'm sorry, you have to audible out of that. 2nd and goal on the 1 or 2, and you still had a timeout. Like I said, as the head coach, like whether it's his or another's, I would still think as the head coach, got to have some sort of like vetoing of a certain play call. Not meaning that the whole game plan has to change, but at the same time, when adjustments have to be made, they have to be made. I mean, that's part of coaching. Wilks gets credit for changing the team's mindset and identity. Jeff R., we understand that. We're not questioning that. You have to also understand that, dude, we hadn't been to the playoffs since 2017. We had a chance to make the playoffs, and we failed again. That's 5 straight years in a row. Like, at the end of the day, that's good and all, but we want to win. We want to win, and we had an opportunity. I give Steve Wilks a lot of credit. He's a big part of what helped us have a chance, but he didn't capitalize. That's all I'm saying. He didn't capitalize. Because as much as players dropped the ball, so did the coaching. And honestly, that Falcons loss was probably Steve Wilks' best loss. He looked good, even in defeat. That's like the one game that he lost that he looked good in defeat. And then another thing that sticks out, okay, we start by running. Now, when the run isn't working out for us, Ravens game, Steelers game, where are the adjustments? We got to be able to adjust. Not to mention with the talent that we have at wide receiver, not to mention, against a Bucs defense, which, like I said, I give Sam Darnold some credit. He did his thing, but making the necessary adjustments when it's the most needed. That's an issue that I have. Is it Wilk's fault for Eddie Pinheiro missing the field goal? Oh, no. That's why I'm saying Wilks looked great even in defeat in that game. That's the one game. That Falcons loss was the one game where he looked great even in defeat. For sure, looked great in defeat. Because my whole thing is, and that's why I think with a lot of these press conferences, folks need to learn how to not give so much away. I think that's one issue, not just specifically saying us, but across the board. Across the board, folks need to stop giving so much away in press conferences, whether it's about strategy or whatnot. Coaches as a whole, coordinators, everybody need to stop giving away too much information. I think that's one issue across the NFL of coaches and coordinators. And secondly, I was expecting run first, as Steve Wilks says. But my whole thing is, you know, there were games where they went away from it, and it wasn't necessarily, it might not have been doing much, but you can't completely give up on it, especially if you're not down at the time. And there were times where we weren't really down hardly much to either being tied or ahead that we gave up on the run. You know? So that's my whole thing. But as I said before, we need a balance. I think a balance of run and pass is what's necessary. But, you know, everybody's game plans are different and you have to adjust, you know, even on the fly sometimes. But, I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, you got to be able to adjust on the fly sometimes. And, you know, if anything, that second Bucks game was the worst example. The worst example. And it hurts so much because we won today. All we had to do was win that game and we would have won the division. We were in position to win the division. And all I'm saying is it adds another season of failure since 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 straight years. And the fans are tired of it. That's the only reason why we're frustrated. I get what you're saying, Jeff R., and you're making some good points. That's why I said Steve Wilks should definitely be a candidate. But you mean to tell me, let me ask you this, Jeff R., you mean to tell me if Jim Harbaugh came running straight to us, willingly wanted to be our coach, you wouldn't see that as an upgrade? You wouldn't see that as an upgrade? Shoot. If Jim Harbaugh got down on his knees and begged to be our coach, shoot. a coach that's never had a losing season in the NFL, shoot. I'm sorry, but I'd be like, Steve who? I'm just saying. Mr. Gemini says, I'll give this season an overall grade of a C. Yeah, I would say C minus. C minus. Jeff R says he likes Jim Harbaugh as well. Yeah, and that would be an upgrade. But like I said, does Steve Wilks deserve to be a candidate? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because he did do some good things. Players played behind him, and that's what you're supposed to do. Regardless of the coach, that's what you're supposed to do. But there was just so many key areas where we just missed out on that really stand out, that really costed the season. Now, I will say this. I'll give credit where credit's due. Do we have the same record as Steve Wilks was coach at the beginning of the season? Oh, heck no. Heck no. I ain't stupid. Because we got to remember, Matt Rule only coached and had one win. Only one win when he coached this year. So you best believe if we had Steve Wilks at the beginning of the season at head coach, we wouldn't be finishing no 7-10. I can tell you that right now. Hands down, we wouldn't finish no 7-10. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. No freaking way. Shoot, we probably would have at least gotten 10. Probably 10. Yeah, probably 10. 10 wins. I would say we've gone 10-7. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Jeff R says, so we know that the players want Wilks. Facts. So what happens if we lose the locker room when they have Harbaugh? Give Wilks a full season and let's give him a fair assessment. Let him hire his own OC and quarterback. Now, when it comes to Harbaugh, I know one of the things that rumor has it, one of the things supposedly that he would want full control of the roster. And honestly, I wouldn't be against that. You know why? I'm not going to question a coach that's never had a losing season. I'm not going to question a coach that's never had a losing season. And Jim Harbaugh is an example. So, just like if Mike Tomlin were to be in the running and he got picked, Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. To be specific, full control. Tepper said he wouldn't do that again. I don't know if I like a coach having too much power. What is the GM for then? That now take that with a grain of salt, because I heard that was a rumor. But take that with a grain of salt. But I heard that was a rumor. But you know what? For 12 games, 6-6. If I look back, oh man. To be honest, if we could have won the New York game and the Cleveland game, oh man, we'd be 9-8. And I'm talking before Wilks. But man, if we would have won those first two games, man, things would have been so different. But you know, with what Jeff R was saying, I mean, don't get me wrong, a full season would be a fair assessment. But 12 games isn't that bad. 12 games isn't that bad. If it was like less than 10, then yeah. But I mean, he had 12. So, you know what? I'm going to pose that as a question. So we know Jeff R wants a full season. What do y'all think? Was 12 games a fair assessment for Steve Wilks? Let me get y'all's thoughts. Ernest Capu says Carolina Panthers opponents 2023. Is that out yet? Oh, I don't think that's. Oh, complete list of free agents for 2023. Oh, we got more stuff to talk about, y'all. But first off, first question, do y'all think 12 games was a fair assessment for Steve Wilks? He coached 12 this year. Remember, took over in the Rams game. But yeah, what are y'all's thoughts on that? Joe Valesco says yes and no. It's got to be one or the other. Got to pick one. Mr. Gemini says yes. It was a fair assessment? So he says yes. Joe Valesco says yes. Jeff R says, so you think we would have made the playoffs with Harbaugh if he had 12 games with a coaching staff that wasn't entirely his? I doubt it. I'm going to say it's possible because, like I said, he's never coached a losing season. So I think there would have been a good chance. There would have been a chance. I'm only going to give but so many negative marks for him because, like I said, he's never had a losing season as a head coach in the NFL. It'd be different if it was somebody else, lesser than that credibility. Wilks is 6-6. That's not losing. Yeah. And the one game we needed to make the playoffs, we lost. So it affected the overall record. At the end of the day, there's nothing we can do about that, but it affected the overall record. And he had time. He had time. Because as much as he had six wins, also had 6 losses. They all count. Erwin P., welcome to the stream. Because like I said, overall, Jeff R., you're making some good points, but overall, it's the fact that we missed the playoffs. We missed the playoffs when we had an open opportunity to. Like those 3 previous seasons, we didn't even have a chance, period. And we actually had a chance. And we had enough time to do it. And we didn't do it. That's why everybody's so frustrated. Especially being we haven't seen the playoffs since 2017. 5 years is a long time. I get what you're saying, and it's a good argument for sure. But you can't be surprised at why the fans are frustrated. That's the only thing I'm saying. You can't be surprised as to why the fans are frustrated, and they have a legit reason to be frustrated. Mr. Gemini says the negative is that he can't win the big game. And that could be a problem. That would be a problem in the long run. When you think about it, it happened to Marvin Lewis. Remember? He could get to the playoffs but couldn't win a playoff game. I mean, when you got to your limit, and you can never get over that, you're only going to get but so many more chances. Blitz, what would you say if your job gave you 65% of the time to complete your job effectively and everyone else gets 100%? That's not a fair assessment. My answer is no. It might not be a fair assessment, but that doesn't mean that I don't do my best and try to go all the way and get that. And like I said before, you say that, Jeff R., but it doesn't change. You're forgetting they were in position to make the playoffs. That's what it's all about, right? Ultimately, that's what it's all about. Regardless of whether he had a full season or not, which, like I said, is not his fault, definitely not his fault. But still, he got hired, replaced Matt Rule with plenty of time. It will be 7 years next year's playoffs that we haven't been. Yeah, 7 years. They were in position because of Wilks, though. Yeah, he was getting there, but he didn't seal the deal. That's my point. He didn't seal the deal. He didn't seal the deal when he had the chance to seal the deal. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. Had the chance to do it, but he didn't do it. At the end of the day, all these superlatives are nice, but at the end of the day, we want wins and we want a championship. You can't blame us for being frustrated. That's the only point I'm getting across. You can't blame us for being frustrated. And the thing is, I'm not saying that I would say it's a huge problem if he does become full-time head coach. If he becomes full-time head coach, great. But that doesn't change the fact that he dropped the ball. Every time in prime time, we don't play well. The third quarter seems to be our Achilles heel. How many games would have won if we would have scored in the third quarter? That's another good point. That is another good point. Certain things like that. So that's actually a fair point. Blitz, we are not a good team. Wilks look trash and made us believe, bro. That's the definition of coaching. What about everybody else in our division? We were in the worst division. What about everybody else in our division? They're not exactly elite. What about everybody else in our division? But the fact of the matter is when it comes to the playoffs, you can throw the records out the window because it's win or go home. It's win or go home. You make the playoffs this open season. And the thing is, we actually finished with a good division record. But couldn't win when it counted the most to get us into a spot we haven't been in 5 years. Christopher Kelton says, yes, it was enough. 12 games. And like I said, it's a fair argument. Like if it was less than 10, I would say no. Definitely by default, no. But it was 12. 12 is not that low of a number. I'm just saying, it's not that low of a number. Because the thing is, this is different from when, say, last season, Cam Newton. Cam Newton didn't come onto the team until week 10. Steve Wilks was at least with the team the whole entire time. He just got the nod to get bumped up to head coach. So for those that might have been thinking about that as a comparison, doesn't really count. Doesn't really count. Oof. Without our best player and a quarterback that didn't play until the end of the season, Okay, guys. It still doesn't change the fact that we were in position to make the playoffs and we failed. It's still, the points you're making are there, but it still doesn't change the fact that we had an opportunity to win the playoffs and we were a game away. And the Bucs was a very bad loss. It wasn't just a close loss. It was a very bad loss. It still doesn't change the fact of the outcome. But I would definitely keep Steve Wilks over Ben McAdoo. Ben McAdoo definitely has to go. I think regardless of who the coach is, Ben McAdoo's got to go. And Al Holcomb, ugh. I'm sorry. You do not let one player, you make adjustments. That just doesn't happen. There's a reason why that rarely happens in the league. And all on the same side, and you don't make any adjustments. It's unacceptable. But like I said, I would have to say that was his worst game. And the Rams game was pretty bad, but you know what? I can't even hate on them for that. I mean, it was a bad loss, but I don't even hate on them for that, to be honest with you. But had the opportunity in the palm of our hands to make the playoffs, failed. I can appreciate the team winning, fighting for the win. I can appreciate that. But in looking at this, all we had to do was win last week. All we had to do was win last week. That's not to discredit how improved over the last season. That's not to discredit that. But as much as 5-12 wasn't enough, 7-10 wasn't enough either. But like I said, we have Steve Wilks the whole season. I think it would have been. I think we would have made it. So I'll give you that. If we had him this whole season, we would have made it in. I'll give you that. But I'm just tired of dealing with the mediocrity, and it's been that way. 5 straight years, no playoff appearances. When at a time, we used to win our division almost easily. Almost. Not in the last 5 years. And to be honest, 2017, we didn't even win our division. We made a wild card. Yeah, if I remember correctly, we didn't even win our division in 2017. We made a wild card. But yeah, I'm just tired of doing, just under what's needed. Got a lot of work to do in the offseason, though, that's for sure. Got a lot to do. Over the cap issue is something that's got to be fixed. Oh, unrestricted free agents and all of the above. So here are the list of free agents going into 2023. So keep this in mind. Okay, we got 16 unrestricted free agents. Quarterback Sam Darnold, tackle Cameron Irving, guard Michael Jordan, center Bradley Bozeman, wide receiver Rashard Higgins, wide receiver Andre Roberts, running back Deontay Foreman, defensive end Henry Anderson, defensive tackle Matt Ioannidis, linebacker Corey Littleton, linebacker Joel Inyegbueniwe. Forgive me if I mispronounce that. Cornerback TJ Carey, safety Sean Chandler, safety Justin Burris, long snapper JJ Jansen, and kicker Eddie Pinheiro. Your restricted free agents, you have 3. Quarterback PJ Walker, safety Miles Hartsfield, and safety Sam Franklin. And then your 2 exclusive rights free agents are tight end Stephon Sullivan and tight end Giovanni Ricci. So, with that list, you know what? Let me go ahead and link that list in here. So with that list, who do y'all think we should consider bringing back? Who do y'all think we should consider bringing back? So 21 total free agents. 21 total free agents for 2023. Jeff R says, keep Bradley Bozeman. Everyone else is replaceable. Bradley Bozeman, I feel, has emerged as the leader of the offensive line. So I highly agree that we should re-sign Bradley Bozeman. Multi-year deal. I'm for it. And he says everyone else is replaceable. Going through this list, Mr. Gemini says Bozeman and Pinheiro. Pinheiro, here's the thing. We still have another year left on Zane Gonzalez. So they could probably go either way with him. The only folks that I would say for sure can bounce, I would say Justin Burris, we could probably move on from. Joe Inyegbueniwe, we could probably move on from. Corey Littleton, we should probably move on from. Matt Ioannidis, should probably move on from. Rashard Higgins, definitely move on from. Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan's a maybe. Cameron Irving, probably not. Sam Darnold, I'm not sure. Pinheiro can't make the big kicks like y'all say Wilks can't win the big games. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. I mean, he kind of redeemed himself hitting this game winner in the Saints game, but ultimately, you're technically not wrong there. And like I said, I don't even blame the Falcons' loss on Wilks. Let's not forget that. I don't even blame the Falcons loss on Wilks. Deontay Foreman, I would consider bringing back. Giovanni Ricci, I guess. And then the others. The others are definitely replaceable. Jeff R says, Mr. Gemini says, oh yeah, Foreman too. Facts. Jeff R says we need to trade Dante Jackson. You sure about that, Jeff R? Because we were definitely hurting without Dante Jackson. If anything, we should have brought in, like, whether it was Josh Norman or somebody else when Dante Jackson went down, but I don't know. And see, Jeff R makes a good point in Dante Jackson injury prone. Well, let me ask you this. Even though I don't agree with what I'm about to ask you, could you say the same for J.C. Horn? Technically. Just an interesting question. Yes, but he's on a rookie contract. Okay, fair point. So at least you agree to that extent. Okay. Fair enough. I'm trying to remember how many years did we re-sign Dante for? What was it? 3-year extension, I think it was. But I think ultimately it depends on what we can get for Dante Jackson, because my whole thing is when he plays, he's been a factor. I mean, he's gotten 14 interceptions in his Carolina career. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. So if we're gonna trade him, we got to get something good for him. But I don't know. After he went down, that really hurt our secondary. We can get a third rounder, probably. And even though CJ Henderson isn't on this free agency list, they might consider letting him walk, to be honest. They might consider letting him walk. Joe Velasco says we could trade Jackson to trade up in the NFL draft. But here's the thing. We got to make sure we get another stud cornerback, which, I mean, it is kind of on our need list. So, I mean, there's that. It's on our need list. But we definitely got to be able to get another stud cornerback. Because, I'm sorry, CJ Henderson, I just don't know if he'll suffice. I mean, Keith Taylor, he's still on the rookie contract, but Keith Taylor, there's room for improvement. I think we seriously got to look at our secondary going into this offseason as a whole. J.C. Horn will be back. He already had the wrist surgery. And while Dante could come back, a torn Achilles, that's not easy to come back from. a torn Achilles. Yeah, that's not easy to come back from. It's not impossible, but it is not easy. So, ugh. And see, there's a lot of secondary on this free agency list. I mean, cornerback TJ Carey, Sean Chandler, Justin Burris, Miles Hartsfield, Sam Franklin. That's a handful of secondary. I mean, mostly safeties, but that's a handful of secondary. But yeah. Watch J.J. Jansen be the first person they re-sign. Just like they do every season, right? But I mean, the dude's been consistent. He's already surpassed John Casey. But you know something? This list of free agents, what do y'all think? I don't think it's as bad as I thought it could have been. It's not as bad as it could have been. You know what I mean? I think this list is not as bad as it could have been. So we got a lot of returning faces. We got a good handful of returning faces. Like I said, I think specifically for the offensive line, we have to re-sign Bozeman. I think we definitely got to bring back Bozeman. He even likes it here in the Carolinas. So I think we should really, I think at the top of the list, Bradley Bozeman. We got to bring him back. And then, like, if I had to pick three for sure that we should strongly consider bringing back, Deontay Foreman, Bradley Bozeman, and a third one, as crazy as this sounds, might have to come down between Eddie Pinheiro and Sam Darnold, but probably more so Sam Darnold as a potential bridge. But this list isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I will say that. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Jeff R. says, I hate to say it, but I think Harbaugh is coming here. We have really good players coming back, and we have the youngest team in the NFL. I would want to come here if I was a coach. Is it still a possibility? I thought it was leaning more towards he was staying with Michigan. But I guess it depends on how the interview, because we have to remember, David Tepper only chatted with Jim Harbaugh. He didn't give him an official interview. So we'll have to see what happens with an official interview. He only said that because of the NCAA violations. Ooh. Yeah, that could be an issue. That could definitely be an issue. For sure. Yeah, that could definitely be an issue. Yikes. But yeah, I think this leaves some room open for bringing some folks in, but definitely need to fix the cap issue. Definitely got to fix the cap issue. But yeah, we'll be picking number 9. Number 9. Okay. So there's a report here on ESPN.com 2023 NFL offseason key free agents, draft notes, predictions. So check this out. For the Carolina Panthers. All right. Final record, 7-10. Estimated 2023 cap space, $1 million. Total 2023 draft picks, we got 7. We got 7 total draft picks for 2023 draft. All right. Biggest offseason priority. Check this out. Says the Panthers need to find a coach and a quarterback. Interim coach Steve Wilks has made a strong case to take the permanent job after getting Carolina back in the playoff hunt after a rough start to the season, and the players want him back. If he is hired back full-time, Sam Darnold could return as a bridge quarterback, even though he's not the long-term answer. If Wilks doesn't get the job, look for Darnold to move on and the new coach to likely look toward the draft to find his guy. So that really could come down to who our coach is going to be. That's going to determine some things. So keep an eye out for that. Under the radar offseason priority, it says Carolina should re-sign running back D'Onta Foreman. I agree. After a huge second half. He's 26 years old and can be kept at a reasonable price. Foreman has given the Panthers stability at a key position after Christian McCaffrey was traded mid-season, rushing for 914 yards on 203 carries. The Panthers were near the top of the NFL in rushing, 1,668 yards after week 6. I agree. We should re-sign D'Onta Foreman. Okay. Will they re-sign center Bradley Bozeman? The answer, yes. Carolina got Bozeman on what seemed at the time like a value deal, $2.8 million for the season, and it has turned out to be exactly that. Bozeman has been dependable, parlaying his play into a payday that could be $10 million or more per year. His 95.5% pass block win rate ranked in the top 10 among centers in 2022. Yes, we need to re-sign Bradley Bozeman. Oh, Jeff R says, so have we completely abandoned Corral? He's not even going to be given a shot. I want him to get a shot. I'm not sure about the organization, unfortunately. Do I feel he deserves a shot? Yes. Do I think they will? And it's interesting that you say that, Jeff R., because it goes into this next part, draft outlook. It says finding a franchise quarterback is the first order of business in Carolina. And with their early pick, the Panthers have a shot at landing Kentucky's Will Levis or Florida's Anthony Richardson. But if the Panthers find a passer via trade or free agency, then look for them to go to wide receiver, perhaps TCU's Quentin Johnston or USC's Jordan Addison is next on the draft needs list. With 2 picks in the second round, the Panthers could check a lot of the boxes on the first 2 days, including potentially landing a starting quarterback, receiver, and cornerback. So, I mean, maybe they have given up on Matt Corral, which is kind of sad. But when you think about it, technically, as of now, he's our only active quarterback. You know, with Sam Darnold being a free agent, PJ Walker being a free agent, Matt Corral is technically our only quarterback on the roster as of now. So I hope he gets a chance. I really do. I hope he gets a chance. But if they're not confident in giving him a shot and want to go another franchise quarterback, Ugh. Jeff R says, I'm so confused about the things this organization does. Why do you trade up and grab Corral if you're not going to play him? Good question. Good question. I mean, I definitely would like to see him compete. I would. But I think the idea that I guess the organization is considering is if they have a position, if they happen to be in position to get a Will Levis or potentially better quarterback, I guess they're willing to take that chance. Me personally, like, I just feel like linebacker, middle linebacker, I feel like is a big, ginormous need. Secondary as well, and D-line. I'm not saying that quarterback's not an important need, but that linebacker position just sticks out to me the most because we haven't had a replacement for Luke Kuechly. But that's just me. And what they have for their big prediction for the offseason, the Panthers will sign defensive end Brian Burns to a large extension in order to establish him as one of the foundational pieces of their team and lower his $15 million cap cost for 2023. The fourth-year player had 12.5 sacks. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think about this list? I'm definitely in agreement with bringing back Deontay Foreman and Bradley Bozeman. Definitely agree with those two. The big offseason priority at coach sounds like there's a number of things that could happen based on if Steve Wilks gets brought in full-time or they decide to go with somebody else. So I think that could go 50-50, I guess. Could go 50-50. But Deontay Foreman, Bradley Bozeman, I think are a must. Them finding a franchise quarterback, I mean, I can't say that I'm surprised, but if they decide to trade up to get a quarterback, it won't surprise me. In all honesty, it won't surprise me. That, if anything, that'll just make it plain and clear that they're gonna have competition. And you know what? I mean, they could always pull a Cam Newton, draft a quarterback. He gets the starting job. That could happen. Or who knows? They may draft a quarterback and they may just legit let Corral and the rookie battle it out without them considering bringing in a bridge. I guess that could happen as well. But I mean, I guess we just have to see. I mean, Trevor Lawrence brought in, he was the starter, took a season or two, and now they're in the playoffs. It's not looking too hot for Justin Fields, but who knows? Bears got the number 1 pick. They could probably turn things around next season. So I mean, I think what it comes down to, we're going to have to take a gamble at quarterback, whether it's Matt Corral or whether it's somebody else. I think we're going to have to gamble and try to figure out this franchise quarterback situation and try to develop one, which would be either Matt Corral or they draft somebody. I mean, Lamar Jackson seems like a nice idea, but too expensive. And I think we should develop somebody. I think the time has come to develop the quarterback. So whether it's Corral or we draft somebody, I think that's something we got to consider. But we'll see what happens. This is going to be a very interesting. Well, shoot, I said the same thing about the last couple of off seasons. This is going to be a very interesting, strange off season. But it's looking like David Tepper is going to get to work on looking for the coach, doing some coach hunting. Head coach hunting. Head coach hunting. But so playoff standings, just throwing this out there. So we know in the AFC East, the Bills have won their division. Miami gets a wild card. The Bengals won their division. The Ravens get a wild card. The Jacksonville Jaguars win their division. And the Kansas City Chiefs win their division and first round bye. And the Chargers get the final wild card. So, your wild cards for the AFC, Miami Dolphins, Baltimore Ravens, Los Angeles Chargers. Your division winners, Jacksonville Jaguars, Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills, and the Kansas City Chiefs get the first round bye. Okay. For the NFC, the Eagles and Cowboys are still battling it out, but both have a playoff berth. And the Giants for sure have a wild card. So they have one of the wild cards. The Minnesota Vikings have won their division. Tampa Bay Bucks have won their division. And the San Francisco 49ers have won their division. So the Eagles and Cowboys are still fighting for the division. Which means, hold on. So we know the Giants have a wild card. Dallas will get a wild card unless they can beat the Eagles. Or wait, no, unless they beat the Commanders. I forgot they're playing the Commanders. What am I talking about? So the final wild card spot is going to come down between the Seahawks, Packers, and Lions. Wow. This could be very, very interesting. Very interesting. So for the AFC, for the wild cards, the 5th seed are the Chargers, the 6th seed, the Ravens, the 7th seed are the Dolphins. 4th seed is the Jaguars, 3rd seed is the Bengals, 2nd seed Bills, 1st seed Chiefs. Okay. Now, NFC, right now, Philadelphia is still holding on to the 1 seed. Vikings are the 2 seed. Niners are the 3 seed. Bucks are the 4 seed. 5th seed's the Cowboys. Giants are the 6th seed. And technically, the Seahawks are the 7th seed. Now, let's see these last games. Let me see. So it's the Giants versus the Eagles. And right now, hold up. Let me go back to the standings. So all the Eagles have to do is win their game, and they win the division. And as a matter of fact, wait, what other games are left to be played? Let's see. So the Eagles win, they win their division. And actually, if the Eagles win, they clinch first round bye. If they win against the Giants, which they're up 19-3. So if they win, they clinch home field, number 1 seed. Let's see. The Rams Seahawks, that's close. Rams 16, Seahawks 13. Commanders are winning over the Cowboys 13-6. Ooh, and the Lions and Packers play tonight. They play tonight. And the thing is, if the Seahawks lose, then that means the Lions or Packers are playing for the wild card spot. Oh, man. That's going to be interesting. If the Seahawks lose, then it comes down to the Lions and Packers. Wowzers. But there you have it. But, hey, at least we finished 2 wins better. And definitely Steve Wilks did a much better job than Matt Rule, that's for sure. Shoot, Matt Rule only got 1 of our wins. Steve Wilks got 6. So definitely Steve Wilks did the better job, hands down. But we'll see what happens in the offseason. We'll see what happens. But another season in the books for the Carolina Panthers. No playoffs. Finished 7-10, 4-2 in the NFC South. Only won 2 games on the road. But we'll bounce back. Some way, somehow, I think we'll finally bounce back. Hopefully next season. Once again, congratulations to Brian Burns for making the Pro Bowl. But that concludes the Carolina Panthers season for 2022-2023. But as more news and topics develop, we'll keep the topics, the vids going as usual. So get ready for this off season, y'all, because it's going to be a doozy. But I want to thank y'all for tuning in, for sticking with me throughout this whole roller coaster of a season. But keep pounding, no matter what. Some way, somehow, we're going to eventually get through this. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And thank y'all so much for helping get me to 500 subscribers on YouTube. Couldn't have done it without y'all. Thank y'all so much for all the love, support. Thank you for always sharing. Always good having discussions with y'all and hearing from y'all. Thank y'all so much. But Got to try again next year. Got to try again next season. But anyway, for another Carolina Panthers talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube, I'm Jason Ingram. Hope everybody enjoys their evening, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace out, y'all. Try to enjoy the rest of this day and your upcoming week as best as you can.